What happened?
I think we've got a leak. Don't think we can launch. It's been quite a day. So we are hauled back out from the slings. They've put us in a new spot, which is good. We have power and electricity now. So we hooked up our tools and we took out the through hull that was leaking. So to catch you up, we got put in the water. Basically, they have you in the slings that lower you down into the water. The idea is that you can test your boat, make sure everything is good, and then launch your boat. We didn't get to the launch your boat part. We got to the test your boat part. We found a leak in what's called our speed transducer, our speed wheel. Basically, it measures the flow of water over the hull and tells us how fast we're going. When we got put into the water, which was not a problem before we came to St. Mary's, or maybe it was just such a small leak we hadn't noticed it. Basically, we could see waters coming in all around the side of it. We had a friend on the dock who was much more experienced. She came over and she helped us take the whole thing out, re-grease it, re-bed it, tighten everything, and we tried for maybe 10-15 minutes, and unfortunately the result was it's just not good. There was water coming from not where we put in the speed wheel, but all around where it meets the hull, which means that it needs to get rebedded, and that is not something we could do on the water. So we got hauled back out, and now we are at the point where we have removed it and the other sensor that's nearby it. We could see that the caulk that was put in there is now chalk. And we've pulled both, we've ordered new parts in, and we're going to have to redo these before we can launch again.
We took a day off to drown our sorrows in pizza and bubble tea, and we are back at Turtle. These are the two holes that we cleared out, and actually when Dave from inside was starting to bang this out to see how bad the damage was, I could actually get my fingernail in between this and the through hull, which told me that 2 hammer blows to this should not basically take it all out. So we know that it was on its way of going out, and all of this was just dry chalk that actually splattered all over the hull and is messing up my beautiful paint job. But we've got our holes out, got our parts ordered, and in no time we'll get it fixed up and launched again. I hope. Something we have read a little bit about online and researched was whether or not to paint these metals. So there's a little bit of a discussion online, but basically we figure the idea is if you paint your prop and you protect that metal and what holds it and the strut and everything, why not paint these from getting barnacles on them? And so what we've done is we've put 2 coats of Interlux Primocon primer on them, and then 2 coats of Primocon Trilix on them. Interlux Trilix on them. We'll put the description, and we'll put it in the description. But they don't look so bad, and I think that now they're a little bit more protected from barnacles. So I made a little flower to protect them, and then taped up as much as I could, although I still think I got a little bit on the hull, which we can hide away with a little bit more anti-foul paint. So I'm okay with it. It's just paint, and painting is supposed to be fun and chaotic, right? Right? Oh, no.
I think they look great.
Oh, no.
I mean, just a little bit there, but otherwise.
Yeah. Well, this was when I didn't put all of this. I thought I could get away with this, and then I realized I couldn't, so.
It's okay, it's a nice foul paint, it'll all come off.
Yeah. And my trusty rain gutter is here. Hasn't been needed yet, but it's been nice to have.
I'm here inside the boat. Spandana is outside the boat, and she's going to put through our new transducer. She's going to dry fit it first so we can make sure everything looks good. Alright, Spandana?
Yeah.
Well, I see her putting sealant onto the thing, so I guess we're just going ahead without dry fitting. Here we go. I think it looks good. Try to get a little more on the hole itself, like on the actual inside of the hole. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
Ah, I see tightening on this side.
Okay. They're both in. We used baby wipes to clean them up, and they look awesome. I'm really happy with how solid they both feel. Got a good connection to the hull. We got a lot of 5200 in there, so hopefully no leak this time. And we'll tighten them down one more time and get the seacock and the transducer in.
So we came to check on our through hulls, which are looking really, really nice. I think the 5200 is going to do a really good job, except I just touched it and I can feel some on my hands, which is interesting because it's supposed to cure in 4 hours. And then after a little bit of investigation in the mind, Dave and I realized that in our haste, we grabbed the wrong tube of 5200. Because you see, there is a blue 5200 and there is a red 5200 tube. The blue takes 24 hours to dry and 7 days to cure. And the 5200 takes 4 hours to cure, which is what we thought we were using. So we're here for a few more days. We're supposed to splash tomorrow, but yeah, we're not going to splash with the wet through hulls. So we're here for another 5 to 7 days while these things cure. It's a shame. I wish we'd noticed it before, but that is the way it is when you rush. But we're going to clean up Turtle, make her nice and pretty and shiny, and overall just take a break and take it easy for once. Maybe. While these things dry.
This is new and clean. Over past Spandana is still dirty, so you can definitely see the difference just from scrubbing with soap. Turtle hasn't been in the water for quite some time, but her pressure meter for the filter is high, so just to be safe and not to get us stuck, let's replace these guys. And we can see we've got black dust dirt all over this, so good thing we took that out. Popped a new one in. Now I need to put some diesel in there so it doesn't stall on us when we try to launch her in an hour or so. Where's the diesel?
All aboard! All aboard! Yeah. Stand on it.
So our depth sounder doesn't work. So all of this is a little blind and following the route that our friends took when they brought Turtle in, and hoping that they didn't ground, and it's super high tide, so we should be okay. But we'll have to figure out why our depth sounder is not working once we anchor. So we'll see.
We made it. We are at Cumberland Islands, which we were at 7 months ago, maybe? No. November. Well, a long time ago. So we are back here again in the same anchorage we were at last time, but this time there are 0 boats here except for us because it's super hot and we just turned off the fan so you could hear us, but it is really hot out here. Hopefully at night it calms down a little bit, but we're just running the fans constantly just to keep ourselves a little bit cool. But really happy. The trip out from St. Mary's was a little dicey at first. We put ourselves in the water and we found a through hole that was leaking again. Different through hole, not any of the ones we touched, and not even one we kind of remember that we had. It's a drain for the sink. But it turns out that it's the connection on the inside that was leaking, so we were able to just shut everything off, not use the sink, and we were okay to go. And that is totally something that's fixable on the water. So we told them that we might not be able to splash, and then we were able to. So that was really good. The trip out was very dicey. It was very tight coming out, and then even the St. Mary's River snakes all along. And our depth sensor stopped working, so we had to rely on the path that our friends took in. Thank you again to them from like deep in our hearts for getting us in there and leaving a track on our chart plotter, so we just followed it all the way out. We got here faster than we expected, dropped the anchor, and just cleaned down the boat, and now it's time for dinner.
It feels so... It's so hot, again, still, but it feels so good to have the breeze going through Turtle again and to sit and have making beef patties, and just watch a movie to finish up the day and just feel like we accomplished it. The entire trip was about 45 minutes, which is not a big trip, but for a first trip with no sails and with haven't been sailing since January, that's the last time we sailed. I think this was perfection. The wind is going to die down tonight. We are going to be able to put up our sails. And then tomorrow... Charleston.
Well, tomorrow we start to Charleston. It is a 28-hour trip. So we will start tomorrow morning, and then the day after we'll arrive in Charleston. So
we started slow today, but tomorrow we're doing basically everything. We're sailing. The seas are supposed to be calm. Maybe a little too calm, so we might be motoring. And we're going to do an overnight sail, so it's got a little bit of everything. So I'm excited. I'm excited to sail. I'm excited to be back home. I'm excited to see my spices again. And we're back again. I mean, we were back, but now we're like back on the boat. So, yay.
All right, time for dinner?
Time for dinner.